Chapter 1, The Forbidden Spell. They say Bhangarh Fort does not remember time the way humans do, it remembers screams, whispers, and unfinished spells, and on a moonless night when the wind moved like a breath across the ruins, the fort awakened once again to tell its most forbidden story, the story of the sorcerer whose love became a curse. Long before Bhangarh turned into crumbling stone and warning signs, it was a thriving kingdom, protected by high walls and ruled by Raja Madho Singh, whose daughter Ratnavati was said to possess beauty so powerful it could stop a man's heart mid-breath. Princes traveled across deserts to glimpse her shadow, poets ruined their lives trying to describe her face, and warriors forgot battles at the mere mention of her name. But hidden beyond the hills lived Singiya, a feared black sorcerer whose magic bent shadows and poisoned fate itself. Unlike the others, Singiya did not desire Ratnavati's love, he desired control over her soul. Obsession consumed him like a slow-burning fire, and night after night he studied forbidden scriptures, whispering spells that twisted the air around him, believing destiny could be forced. On the eve of Ratnavati's wedding, Singiya disguised himself as a humble merchant and approached her with a bottle of enchanted perfume, laced with a spell meant to enslave her the moment its scent touched her skin. But fate, sharp and unforgiving, intervened. Ratnavati, skilled in the art of magic herself, sensed the darkness coiled within the bottle. Pretending ignorance, she tossed the perfume onto a stone boulder nearby. The moment it shattered, the spell rebounded, and the sorcerer felt his own curse coil around his heart like iron chains. As he lay dying, crushed beneath the weight of his failed magic, Singiya screamed a curse so powerful that the earth trembled. Bhangarh would never know peace, its people would fade into dust, and no soul would find rest within its walls. By dawn, Singiya was dead, but the curse had already begun to breathe. Within days, whispers spread through the palace, shadows lingered too long, and laughter echoed where no mouths existed. Ratnavati herself fell ill, her life slipping away like sand through fingers, and with her final breath, she prayed that the fort be freed, but some prayers arrived too late. Years passed, wars came and went, and Bhangarh slowly emptied, as if the land itself rejected human presence. Houses collapsed overnight, temples cracked without earthquakes, and travelers reported hearing chants carried by the wind after sunset. Villagers claimed that if you stayed too long, you felt watched, as though unseen eyes memorized your fear. Even today, the Archaeological Survey warns visitors to leave before nightfall, but warnings mean little to curiosity. And as you listen to this story, feel the chill rising, because the curse does not end with history, it waits for belief. If you want to uncover more forbidden legends and awaken stories the world once buried, make sure you subscribe now, because what comes next is far darker. Centuries later, Bhangarh Fort stands hollow under the sun, but when darkness falls, it becomes something else entirely, and those who dare to stay past sunset describe a transformation too horrifying to dismiss as imagination. Locals tell of voices calling names no one remembers, of footsteps pacing ruined corridors, and of a woman's silhouette drifting near the palace, her anklets chiming softly before vanishing into air. Paranormal investigators who entered the fort with cameras and courage often left with neither, recordings filled with distorted screams, batteries drained within minutes, and a suffocating sense of dread that clawed at the mind. One such group, determined to disprove the legends, entered Bhangarh at dusk, laughing nervously as the gates closed behind them. As night deepened, laughter turned to silence. They heard chanting in an ancient tongue, felt icy fingers brush their skin, and saw shadows move against walls that no longer existed. One investigator claimed he saw a man with burning eyes whispering spells into the ground, while another collapsed screaming that Ratnavati was calling him to stay. By morning, only 3 returned, one mute, one insane, and one who refused to speak of what happened, except to say, "The fort is alive, and it remembers." Historians argue that the curse is metaphor, that Bhangarh fell due to war and famine. But how do you explain the voices captured on recorders, the claw marks found on ancient stones, or the unshakable fear that grips even skeptics? Some believe Ratnavati's soul still wanders, trapped between worlds, trying to undo the curse, while Singia's hatred binds her to the ruins, feeding on fear to remain alive. Others claim that every person who believes in the curse strengthens it, and every story told gives it breath. Perhaps that is why Bhangarh has never truly died. Because we keep listening. As you imagine these ruins under a starless sky, remember this: some places are not haunted by ghosts, but by unfinished magic. And some stories are not meant to scare you away, but to warn you. If you felt the chill while listening, if your heartbeat quickened even once, then the curse has already touched you. Stay curious, stay brave, and subscribe to this channel for more untold horrors, because the shadows of the past are still whispering, and we are here to listen.